All right, to start this off, can I please have everyone take out their phones? But that doesn't mean it's time to go on Instagram and look at memes. All right, now pass your phone to a person near you. Doesn't matter who or what direction, just as long as you don't have your own phone. Great. Now, I want everyone to take a second and see how you feel. Are you a little anxious? Do you really trust the person holding your phone right now? The device that basically holds all the information of your life on it? If that's the case for you, you can stop worrying. Everyone, please return your phones to their owners. You may have just experienced what some people like to call nomophobia. Nomophobia is the fear of being without your mobile phone. And there are some criticisms that this is more of a form of anxiety, but that's beyond the point. You see, in today's world, technology literally powers our lives. I know everyone from my generation has probably all heard adults tell us, you know, back in my day, we had one TV with 2 channels on it, and the phone was literally stuck on the wall. And while yes, that's the way things were then, just look how much has changed. Nowadays, it's normal to see a toddler running around with a phone bigger than their face, and they're glued to it like their life depends on it. This is how my generation has grown up. We've been addicted to technology our whole lives. I can recall the most vivid memories of playing games like Just Dance or Mario Kart with my friends or family on the Wii. And my Christmas list always consisted of the newest Nintendo DS game. And there are always new devices, or there are always new models of these devices coming out annually as well. I remember the DSi was a big deal because it had a camera, and the 3DS created the illusion of a 3D screen. One day, a few months ago, I was sitting with my friends during lunch, a time where everyone is supposed to be social and gain energy for the rest of the day. I looked around at everyone and saw that they all had their heads down, staring at their phones. This inspired me to take everyone's phone and stack them face down in the middle of our circle. This is something we now refer to as a phone circle. It was interesting to watch everyone struggle for those first 40 minutes, but as we continued to do this through the following weeks, our group actually became happier and a more fun environment. This is what intrigues me the most, that my generation has no idea what a life without technology is like. Yet to other generations, they struggle to understand that we were never introduced to that kind of life. However, no matter what year you were born or what environment you grew up in, we have to acknowledge that we're all here in 2019 and technology consumes our world. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're all very fortunate to have such a sophisticated level of technology in our lives. I mean, it helps us drive our cars, cook our food, listen to music, talk to people on the other side of the world, and so much more. And honestly, a lot of these advancements probably would not have been possible without these smartphones and other technologies. But the real struggle occurs with monitoring it. I think we've all experienced a situation where you go on your phone to look up one thing or check a single notification. And while you're doing this, another notification might pop up. And next thing you know, 30 minutes have gone by and you're sitting in the same spot staring at a tiny screen. That is what amazes me. The power these devices have over every single one of us. This power takes away our freedom, our focus, and our ability to experience life firsthand. And the main source of all of this, well, for most of us at least, is our phones. Smartphones are no stranger to a vast majority of our population. Almost everyone has them. Similar to a baby with its pacifier. We become so dependent on our phones that we think we can't live life without them. A study by psychologist Larry Rosen revealed that 51% of people experience moderate to high levels of anxiety when restrained from checking their phone for over 15 minutes. There's no surprise that the group with the highest screen time is teenagers. Congrats, guys. Kids from ages 15 to 18 average a solid 7.5 hours a day on their devices. And we don't even realize it. My generation has just adapted to constantly staring at a screen. A survey on 715 families reported that 75% of children between 6 and 36 months of age use technology or touchscreens on a daily basis. Schools are also introducing technology as well. For example, in elementary schools, kids will get their own iPads or even laptops to use in class. An early introduction to technology is linked, but not proven for certain, with speech delays and reduced sleep. And it doesn't stop there. There are three main effects that teens experience with an overusage of technology. The first is poor sleep quality. A high screen time, especially in the time right before bed, is linked with reduced sleep. And this also has negative effects on their sleep cycle and overall well-being. The second effect is higher depression rates. This has to do with social media and one's self-confidence. Pressure to fit in, comparing oneself to others, a decrease in social skills with the ability to hide behind a screen, along with cyberbullying, all have the potential to cause depression in teens, and more specifically in girls. Finally, the ability to focus. This one goes for everyone. A statistic that stood out to me is from a podcast titled Note to Self, which states that when someone is interrupted at work, it can take up to 23 minutes to refocus on the task at hand. We are constantly distracted. Smartphones and other technologies provide us with so many distractions that simple tasks such as reading a book become difficult. And there have been many studies to prove this negative correlation between technologies and attention span. And the creators of these technologies are definitely aware of this. Take Evan Spiegel, for example, the founder of Snapchat. He decided to limit his son to 1.5 hours of screen time a week. His main strategy for enforcing this is to lead by example. He believes that if parents want to limit their teen's screen time, then the parents should limit their time as well. Spiegel is not the only one who thinks this. People like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and Steve Jobs all raised their children in similar ways in order to shield them from technology's harmful effects. However, it's interesting to think that all four of these men were raised in environments with no technology. What does this mean for future generations? Will we have the same opportunities to become creators and innovators like these men? And if not, do we hold these men responsible for taking away that opportunity? Someday, the world will be in the hands of my generation. It will be our job to preserve, yet also improve the world around us. Therefore, we should limit the time we spend on our screens because we have to be aware of the negative impact it's having on each and every one of us. These creators all definitely knew what they were doing when they were inventing these addictive technologies. Overusage ruins us, no matter what age you are. But we have to remember that we are in control. We have the power to set our phone down and walk away from the temptation. It is our job to outsmart these creators. Thank you.